did indeed have an eco-village. We had an off-grid cafe. We're entirely off-grid here, so we only have our little solar unit. All of our water is drawn from the well. So in those operating parameters within our forest, we had a very vibrant and interesting guest house, cafe, music venue. We sometimes had concerts going up to 150, 160 people here, and it was really a very magical place. My name is Alex Carpenter. I am the co-founder of Tribe Private Limited and the Tribe Goa.
My name is Cristina. I am from Venezuela.
So Tribe started actually as a small little bar in Agonda beach, and we did that for a few months. But it took so much time and energy that it was not something that was sustainable in the long term. So we then found a property, this property that we're on, which is a 60,000 square meter abandoned cashew plantation. And we decided, okay, we're gonna take this place on and we're gonna try and restore it and make it a sustainable home for us.
But we knew we needed to create a business model. So we came with this idea of creating a cafe and a guest house where people could have the opportunity to experience this life that we were living, and in this way get some money to help us with this work, because sadly the forest and the animals cannot pay us money. They pay us a lot more other things, like it's amazing, but in this world we still need money, sadly, and so we needed some sort of income.
So we set up Tribe Private Limited. I've been involved with wildlife, with especially reptiles, amphibians and fish since I was very young, 5-6 years old. That means that I've been working in tropical areas, I've been working in wildlife rescue, I've been working in snake rescue, and the local community found out about that relatively quickly. So in a short space of time I went from being that one of the foreigners around to being that snake catcher foreigner. Since I've been in India now, I've been working more with wildlife rescue. I think it's very important because at the moment the forest department and NGOs are understaffed. So I've been called to more than 1,000 wildlife rescues in my 5-6 years here. The idea was for it to be an ecotourism company that focuses on genuinely sustainable ecotourism. And for the last 5 years, since January 2017, we have been living on this property here. So our major challenge in that first period was clearing out a lot of these invasive non-native plants, the dead material, and then to promote the native species to come back. So that was our first intention for that year. What we had then planned to do after that is to set up an eco-resort, a hostel in the forest, an eco-village of sorts, you know.
The idea was for people to come and have this little bit of experience of living in the forest and being more aware of the usage of water, of the usage of the electricity, of the cycles of nature, going to bed with the sunset, you know, and coming, waking up with the sun rising and with the birds. And
that happened right up until COVID in 2020, which obviously disrupted an awful lot of people's plans. And I have to say the lockdown was incredible. Of course, if you look at it only financially, it's very complicated and difficult, but
it was a difficult time because completely stopped our only source of income. But at the same time, it showed us what we really wanted to do and how we were getting our focus away of the real objective of the whole project.
We decided, okay, that's enough. We don't want to carry on with that at the moment. So we just decided, okay, we're closing. We're not going to open up in that sense anymore. So we're spending more and more time now working with landowners, private landowners, and also the forest department, to try and promote reforestation and restoration of ecosystems. That is our strongest skill, more and more. So that's the direction that we're going in increasingly. So we're working on 3 or 4 different properties around Goa, all with a view to trying to restore the ecosystem. And at the same time, of course, we will carry on living here and trying to be as sustainable ourselves as we possibly can. We are seeing an absolute capitulation of nature at the moment. The reason why most people can't see that is because they don't live in nature. I live here 365 days of the year, and the forest is changing like you would not believe. The developing nations, the poorer parts of the world, they are the ones that currently have more biodiversity intact than any others. And they are the ones that are destroying their biodiversity. Very often because they are actually supporting the lifestyles of the West and of the richer countries. So what we are seeing is the destruction of the only thing that's left to protect the planet in order to carry on subsidizing the lifestyles of the rich for a few more generations. This has to stop because, quite frankly, this is probably the biggest type of gaslighting that has ever been seen in history.
Yeah, I think it's time for us to wake up and to really change our lifestyles.
Goa could be seen as one of the most, if not the most, beautiful place on earth. Goa could be the place that changes India because it shows that there is something that can be done. And everywhere can do it, not with huge amounts of money, but just with some togetherness.
Really slowing down and really understanding how much we are consuming, you know, and where is whatever we are consuming coming from.
We need to do something now because it's about so much more than us. Everyone can do something. Even just small actions can make a difference. If you can't do anything, but you have money, then give money to the people that are doing something. There are so many incredible people all over the world that are in the middle of nowhere, that are fighting for the rights of either local communities, tribal communities, forests, wildlife. They're not the ones that you are going to see on television asking for 300 rupees or on your internet, you know. They are people that are working on the front lines of what is now basically a war. There's probably no other ways to describe it.
What we need to do now is to ask ourselves what is good for the planet. Not so much what is good for me, like what is good for the planet. And if it's good for the planet, it's good for me. If it's not good for the planet, it cannot be good for me because the planet is our home. So if it's destroying our home, it's destroying you.